From 1974 to 1991, Dennis Rader terrorized Wichita, Kansas as the BTK Killer, binding, torturing, and killing 10 victims over 3 decades. By day, he was a church leader, family man, and compliance officer. By night, a methodical predator whose crimes baffled the police until a digital slip-up ended his reign. Born March 9, 1945, in Pittsburgh, Kansas, Dennis Rader grew up in Wichita, where a disturbing darkness quietly festered beneath the surface of his normal Midwestern upbringing. From an early age, Rader developed cruel habits, admitting later to torturing and killing small animals and violent bondage fantasies. In the 1960s, Rader served in the U.S. Air Force, a period marked outwardly by disciplined military life, but internally by escalating violent urges. After his discharge, he returned to Wichita, where he married and fathered 2 children. He worked at the Coleman Company, working among co-workers who would later become his victims. In 1979, he earned a criminal justice degree from Wichita State University. Rader's seemingly ordinary existence masked his methodical and remorseless nature. He installed home security systems for a DT and later became a compliance officer in Park City, Kansas, a role within ordinary society that gave him the perfect cover. Beyond his public life, he was an active figure in Christ Lutheran Church, even serving as president, and took on leadership as a Boy Scout troop leader. This image of a devoted family man and community leader belied the horrific truth. He was meticulously planning his brutal killing spree, often targeting former co-workers and neighbors. The very people who trusted him were unwittingly living alongside a sadistic serial killer whose chilling capacity for compartmentalization allowed him to live undetected for decades. On the frozen morning of January 15, 1974, Dennis Rader, stalking his former Coleman co-worker for months, severed the Otero family's phone line and slipped through the back door like a specter from hell. Armed with a .22 pistol loaded with hollow point bullets, he confronted Joseph, Julie, young Josephine, and Joey in their living room and forced them to the floor, claiming he was a fugitive from California. What they thought might be a sick prank shattered into nightmare as he herded them into a bedroom, binding their wrists and ankles with rope he prepared in advance. In a ritual of calculated horror, Rader suffocated Joseph and little Joey with plastic garbage bags pulled taut over their faces, their desperate gasps echoing as life faded away. He then strangled Julie and Josephine hoisted by her neck from a basement pipe until her body hung limp. Rader later desecrated her with his semen, though no full assault took place. He pocketed Joseph's watch as a macabre, leaving the home reeking of death before he vanished into the winter day. The 3 older Otero siblings returned from school to a house of unimaginable carnage, stumbling upon the bound, lifeless forms of their family, a discovery that scarred Wichita forever. Just 3 months later, in April 1974, Rader's bloodlust surged again. He broke into another Coleman employee's home, only to face her brother Kevin in a savage struggle. Stabbing the 21-year-old woman to death in a frenzy of steel and screams, Rader shot Kevin, who miraculously escaped, making him the first survivor. On March 17, 1977, fueled by frustration after his target slipped away, Dennis Rader prowled Wichita's streets like a predator denied his hunt. He spotted a young boy walking alone and followed him home to target his unsuspecting mother. Shirley Vian, posing as a desperate intruder fleeing police, Rader forced his way inside, herding Shirley's 3 terrified children, ages 4 to 9, into the bathroom like caged animals. He barricaded them with toys and supplies to keep them comfortable, his voice a venomous hiss threatening bullets through the door if they dared escape. In the bedroom, Rader bound Shirley's legs to the bedpost with handcuffs and rope. A plastic bag clamped over her face as she retched in agony, begging for water, which he mockingly provided before tightening the noose around her neck. Her body convulsed in futile struggle, life extinguished in a ritual of suffocating terror, while her children pounded helplessly on the bathroom door inches away. On the frozen night of December 8th, 1977, Dennis Rader slipped through the back shadows of Nancy Fox's Wichita home, severing her phone line with a blade before shattering the window's fragile glass. He lurked unseen in the shadows until the 25-year-old returned from her jewelry store shift, her screams slicing the air as she demanded he flee. With hollow eyes, he confessed his ritual, binding her, photographing her, and then ravaging her body before the end. He handcuffed her hands and dragged her to the bedroom. He partially disrobed her and lay splayed on the bed as nylon cords bound her ankles tight. He looped his belt around her throat in a sadistic game of near death, loosening just enough to revive her gasps before crushing the life from her forever. He then called police from a payphone. "You will find a homicide at 843 South Pershing." Police found semen in her nightgown. His horror stretched into eerie gaps of quietness. 1985 took neighbor Maureen Hedge from her home. Transported and killed her, later posed the body in church. 1986 posed as telephone repairman to enter Vicki Wegrel's home. Killed her while her toddler son was present nearby. 1991, an elderly widow, Dolores Davis's lured outside and garroted beneath a desolate bridge, completing his tally of 10 souls claimed in a 17-year time. After his final known kill in 1991, Dennis Rader vanished into silence that gripped Wichita in dread for over a decade. His cases were fossilized into one of America's most infamous cold files. Investigators were haunted by leads that evaporated like morning mist, while families lived in perpetual fear, whispering prayers against the unseen monster still breathing among them. The jagged scar of loss etched into the city's soul as Rader retreated to his lair. In the privacy of his home, Rader curated a grotesque shrine. Stained underwear stolen from victims, watches ticking like eternal dead, photographs of strangled flesh posed in obscene art, fetishes that ignited perverted fantasies, sustaining his demonic hunger without fresh kills. He roamed Wichita's streets as a ghoul, hunting for new prey in what he later called his long game. He nearly claimed an 11th soul in 2004 Webb. He broke into a woman's apartment intending to bind and strangle her. But construction noise outside startled him, forcing him to flee before completing the ritual. Police collected DNA from under the Fermoteros and launched a campaign that tested hundreds of local men with no possible matches. Survivors like Kevin Bright described a bushy mustache attacker with psychotic eyes, but no suspect was found. Geographic profiling pinned the killer to Wichita's heartland, yet leads withered like autumn leaves, theories swirling of a dead fiend, imprisoned phantom, or institutionalized wraith, none grasping the nightmare truth. Rader thrived in plain sight, church president by Sunday, Boy Scout mentor by Saturday, wandering and looking for his next victim. In 2004, marking the 30th anniversary of the Otero family's slaughter, Dennis Rader, the dormant BTK Killer, stirred from his 13-year silence. A chilling letter arrived at the Wichita Eagle on March 19th, penned under the alias Bill Thomas Kilman, boldly claiming the 1986 murder of Vicki Wegrel. Enclosed were stolen snapshots of her driver's license and haunting crime scene photos, stolen from police files as if the monster were exhuming graves to mock the living. His depraved game escalated in May with a package to Cake TV, stuffed with chapter outlines for his twisted BTK story, counterfeit IDs, and a cryptic word puzzle hiding victim names amid sadistic riddles, daring authorities to chase his ghost. By June 9th, a grisly bundle taped to a stop sign at First and Kansas Roads revealed graphic Otero sketches labeled "The Sexual Thrill is My Bill." But the crowning horror came in October. Cereal boxes were mailed to media outlets containing Wegel's license, postmortem Polaroids of her bound corpse, and dolls meticulously posed in death, tiny effigies strangled with twine, a grotesque serial pun scrawled in blood-red ink. Investigators checked a nearby store's surveillance camera. Grainy footage showed a blurry figure dropping off the package and leaving in a black Jeep Cherokee. In a subsequent message to police, Rader asked them, "Can I communicate with floppy disk and not be traced to a computer? Be honest." If so, he told police to place an ad in the Wichita Eagle with the message, "Rex, it will be okay." 2 weeks later, a disc arrived in a package sent to KSA STV with a file that contained instructions to detectives about further communications. A purple 1.44 megabyte floppy disk. He didn't believe that the information he included could be traced. But it was the information he deleted that interested forensic investigators. Metadata embedded in a deleted document contained the words Christ Lutheran Church and attributed the last edits made to someone named Dennis. From the time investigators received the floppy disk, it took just 9 days to put the case together. They learned that Christ Lutheran Church had a council president named Dennis Rader. Further reconnaissance found a black Jeep Cherokee outside of Rader's home, matching the one caught on surveillance from an earlier package's drop-off. Strong circumstantial evidence wasn't enough, so investigators obtained a warrant to test the DNA of a close relative, Rader's daughter, who'd had a pap smear done at Kansas State University's medical clinic. DNA tests done at a lab in Topeka revealed a familial match to the DNA under one of BTK's victim's fingernails, the victim who had not been previously linked to BTK until his letter to the Wichita Eagle. The chain of evidence was clear. Dennis Rader was the BTK Killer. On February 25, 2005, shortly after noon, Dennis Rader's meticulously ordinary life shattered as Sedgwick County Sheriff's deputies tailed his black Jeep Cherokee through Park City's quiet suburban streets, pulling him over near 53rd Street North, still dressed in his Park City Public Works compliance officer uniform after a routine morning meeting. The arresting officer asked Mr. Rader, "Do you know why you're going downtown?" Rader, in his church president's composure, replied, "Oh, I have suspicions. Why?" Without resistance, Rader was handcuffed and whisked to the Sedgwick County Sheriff's Department for interrogation, where Lieutenant Ken Montver, long haunted by BTK's taunts, would soon extract a full confession. Meanwhile, a multi-agency swarm descended. Wichita Police, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, KBI, FBI, and ATF agents ransacked his two-story home at 803 and Thornton. They seized computers, hard drives, floppy disks, and a trove of trophies, including black pantyhose from a backyard shed used in strangulations, cylindrical sexual devices hinting at his rituals, victim IDs, jewelry like Vicky Wegerle's necklace, and even a doll posed in bondage mirroring his crimes. Searches extended to Christ Lutheran Church, his public works office, and Park City Library's computers, unearthing more deleted files and printouts linking to his taunts. In his interrogation, Rader said, while confessing to all 10 murders he'd committed, "The floppy did me in." On February 28, 2005, Dennis Rader was formally charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder, marking the official beginning of his trial process for the notorious BTK killings. On March 1st, Rader's bail was set at $10 million, reflecting the severity of his alleged crimes, and a public defender was appointed for his representation. At his arraignment on May 3rd, pleas of not guilty were entered on his behalf as he remained silent during the proceedings. However, on June 27, 2005, the day originally set for his trial, Rader shocked the court by changing his plea to guilty. In a stark and emotionless recounting, he described each of the 10 murders in detail, referring to them coldly as projects, showing no remorse for his actions. During sentencing on August 18th, emotions ran high as victims' families gave powerful statements. Rader responded with a rambling 30-minute speech meant as an apology, which prosecutors likened to an Academy Awards acceptance speech for its tone and detachment. Experts have described his speech as typical of psychopathic behavior, demonstrating an inability to truly grasp the emotional weight of his words. Sentenced to 10 consecutive life terms, totaling at minimum of 175 years in prison under Kansas law, which did not allow the death penalty at the time of his crimes. Rader was moved on August 19th to the El Dorado Correctional Facility to begin serving his sentence in solitary confinement. Now 80, Dennis Rader rots in solitary at El Dorado Correctional Facility, a maximum security hell in Kansas' desolate plains. His days as the BTK Killer are over. A church leader and family man by day, he killed 10 people in Wichita from 1974 to 1991, including 4 members of the Otero family. His ego led to his arrest. A single purple floppy disk, sent because he needed to be seen, he needed to be praised, carried the digital fingerprints that ripped his double life apart. The case pioneered digital forensics for cold cases, showing how deleted files and metadata can catch hidden killers. Decades later, documentaries and interviews keep reopening the wound. Netflix's 2025 documentary, My Father, the BTK Killer, follows Carrie Rawson as she confronts her father's trophies and crime scene relics. The horror and the realization that the monster she feared was the man who tucked her in. Her pain turns BTK from a case back into what he really is, a wake of ruined families that never gets to heal. If this story crawled under your skin, like this video and share it. Beware of the darkness buried inside. Subscribe to Dark Anatomy, because here, every organ has a secret. Every bone remembers what was done to it.